Your Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, President Mama Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency, President Salva Kiir, President of the Republic of South Sudan, and Your Excellency, Baba Olusegun Obasanjo, former President of the Republic of Nigeria. Then my brother, former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. My other brother from Burundi, General Gervas Ndikarukubuka, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Burundi, and Brother James Kabere, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Rwanda. Distinguished diplomats, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo, good morning. I am so delighted to have opportunity to stand before you here this morning to see this distinguished audience here. I want to say that this is an occasion which the Lord has made, and let's be proud in it. To be able to realize the dreams of the founding fathers, first we need peace on the continent. In 2013, they talked of silencing the guns. But in 2024, the guns are not silent on the continent. We will work to ensure that guns are silent so that we can be able to have a peaceful development. Secondly, Africa is a victim of climate change. Africa today suffers from twin disasters: droughts and floods on the continent. Yet Africa has emitted very little of the carbon that is polluting the world. So Africa needs to be compensated. But this will not come if Africa goes to negotiate as individual countries. If we go and talk as Kenya, as Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, Mozambique, Egypt, or Algeria, those major offenders will not listen to us. But when we go and talk as Africa, they must listen to us and be able to get a fair deal in the issue of climate change. We also need to green Africa. But Africa is also home to the second largest carbon sink in the world, the Congo forest. But how do we continue to green Africa, to arrest desertification, southern advance of Sahara Desert? These are issues, they are challenges which we are equal to. We can be able to deal with these issues effectively if you have got an effective organization in Addis Ababa. African youth today drown in the Mediterranean, trying to get to greener pastures in Europe. It's a shame. We must arrest this trend and ensure that we create conducive environment within the continent here. This youth do not have to flee to go to Europe. And this will only happen if Africa works together as a united continent. We know that Africa is one of the richest continents on planet Earth. It is a paradox. The richest continent is also the poorest in terms of living conditions of its people. This we must put to rest. We should not continue to blame those other people who have exploited the continent. We have the ability to reverse this trend and get Africa moving forward again. Therefore, we need to be able to ensure that Africa uses the resources that it has effectively. We need also to ensure that Africa also trades with itself. Africa is wasting a lot of time searching for markets where they put very unequal terms to goods coming from Africa. The inter-African trade today stands at only 15%. Inter-European trade stands at 70%. Inter-Asian trade stands at 60%. Even inter-South American trade stands at 35%. We need to ensure that Africa trades more with itself. We need to address the constraining factors. One, the non-tariff barriers which have been imposed by other African countries against goods from neighboring countries. More importantly, we need to address the issue of infrastructure development in the continent that would make it easier for African countries to trade with each other. I have been the High Representative of African Union on the issue of infrastructure. So I know the major challenges that Africa faces in the issue of infrastructure. The Trans-African highways, the Cape to Cairo, the Tunis to Cape, the Dakar through Khartoum to Djibouti, the Dakar, Lagos to Mombasa, the Beira to Lobito and Walvis Bay, the high-speed railway networks in the continent, those are issues that require to be dealt with. The LAPSET, the Lamu Port, South Sudan, Ethiopia, that will continue through Bangui and go all the way to the Cameroon port of Kribi, creating a land bridge that links the Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean and opening up the interior landlocked countries within the continent. These are some of the issues that can be dealt with and will deal with. Then connecting Africa through high-speed fiber optic network, and then to facilitate faster communication. Then the issues of air transport. Air transport is a major challenge in the continent. We were talking about open skies to make air transport easier. Today, traveling across the continent is too expensive. You have to get permits to fly over countries, delaying movement and make it too expensive. Flying over Europe is much easier than flying over Africa. We need to have a continental air control system within the continent so that people can travel from east to west, north to south without a problem. The other one is the issues of visas. My friend Aliko Dangote says that for him to travel across the continent, he needs 35 visas. His French competitor does not need a visa to travel with a French passport in Africa. What a shame. In Europe, you only need a Schengen visa, and you can travel across the entire Europe without a problem. We will also ensure that we reach a stage where we can issue an AU visa and enable people to travel to the continent without much of a problem. I therefore want to conclude by saying that I am ready for Africa, and I believe in the story of the African lion. The lion is an African animal, is a king of the jungle. The Cameroonian national soccer team is called the Indomitable Lions. The soccer team of Senegal is called the Lions of Teranga. The soccer team of Morocco is called the Atlas Lions. Here in Eastern Africa, we call it the Simba, the king of the jungle. When the king roars, the jungle listens. So our story of the African lion. The African lion is giving a message to the Asian tiger. Tiger is the Asian animal. And I want my Asian friends here to not to take offense. The African lion is giving a message to the Asian tiger. That you Asian tiger, you've danced on the stage alone for far too long. It's your time to quit. The European bear retreated to the North Pole long time ago and is freezing there in the ice. The American panther is also on the retreat. But I'm here as the African lion. I've been asleep in the jungles of the Congo, but now I'm awake and I'm sitting on African gold, African oil, African diamonds, African iron and copper ores. I'm sitting on African bauxite. I'm sitting on African lithium and coltan and uranium. And I have the ability to transform all these materials that I have into wealth for the benefit of my people, and claim that when